Good evening, your nation wants to know. I'm Madhavdas Gopalkrishnan. First up, a quick look at all the news. The top story, in fact, at the moment is a political showdown over Sansad security breach that has intensified today, with more opposition MPs being suspended for the remainder of the session. A total of 33 opposition MPs, in fact, from the Lok Sabha and 45 from the upper house of Parliament, and with the suspension of 14 opposition MPs who were, in fact, suspended 4 days back, the total number of MPs suspended in this session is now 92.
हाँ, सारे नेता सस्पेंड, हाँ मैं भी सस्पेंड हो चुके हैं सुबह से, और कई दिनों से हमारा मांग बड़ा सीधे मांग कि एक तो ये कि हमारे जितने एमपीस को निलंबित किए गए हैं उनको बहाली हो, और सदन में आकर हमारे गृह मंत्री एक बयान दे। जो बयान सदन की बाहर रोजाना देते हैं, टीवी की सामने बैठ के सारे देशवासियों की सुनाते हैं, उसमें से कुछ सदन के अंदर आकर वो कहे और हमारे सबको और देशवासियों को अवगत कराएं कि अगले तारीख में सदन के और इसके साथ साथ देश की सुरक्षा के लिए सरकार क्या कदम।
Prime Minister has today said that we have done away with the mentality of slavery, and also we have ensured that people will take pride in their heritage. The movement started from the renovation of Somnath Temple, and now we are constructing Ayodhya Ram Temple as well. How do you see this?
I don't know that what was up in his mind. In what context does Prime Minister make a statement like that? I mean, how can you connect whatever you said in your statement with whatever is being done?
I'm being joined by T.R. Balu, sir. Today 33 more member of parliament suspended. How do you see the action by the government?
No, it is an arrogancy. From arrogancy only. We wanted to revoke those people who already been suspended. And moreover, they want to keep this one. Please let before come tomorrow for 3 days.
Sir, the demand of the opposition parties was to call HM in the House and to issue a statement on the parliamentary military attack. And certainly, because of that, it was the MPs who were protesting inside the bill had been suspended. So your demand was to call HM and Prime Minister inside the House to give a statement.
No,
but
they went on record in, saying on this canister issue outside the parliament. When they gone on record outside the parliament, it is not proper to say anything outside the parliament inside them. Now we want them to come inside and respond to
So now when, sir, 33 MPs have suspended, what will be the action from here on from the opposition parties?
No, we have been suspended, we cannot go in. But the other people who are inside, they will revolt.
They will revolt.
Government, however, slammed disruption by opposition parties in the House, saying that they were obstructing the proceedings of the House as they have no agenda or issue to raise against the Modi government.
उनके बार-बार आग्रह पर, उनके बार-बार अनुरोध पर विपक्ष के नेताओं तक ने उनकी बात नहीं सुनी, वेल में आए, अपनी सीट से निकल के हर प्रकार का व्यवधान किया। आज कई माननीय सदस्य प्लेकार्ड लेके दोनों हाउस, दोनों सदनों में आए। माननीय लोकसभा अध्यक्ष को 33 माननीय सांसदों को सस्पेंड करना पड़ा। राज्यसभा में माननीय 34 सांसदों को सस्पेंड करना पड़ा इस सेशन के आखिरी दिन तक।
आज फिर लगातार इस सेशन में, इससे पहले सेशन में भी जो पुराने आदत, विपक्षों का पुराने आदत है, वही आदत से फिर सेशन को होने नहीं देना, अगली व्यवहार नहीं करना चाहिए और वेल के अंदर नहीं आना चाहिए, प्ले कार्ड्स अंदर नहीं ले आना चाहिए। मगर बार बार क्योंकि आज जो विपक्ष है इनसिक्योरिटी में है, आने वाले चुनाव में इनसिक्योरिटी के कारण आने वाले चुनाव में फिर इस संसद में आते नहीं आते, क्योंकि उनके पास कोई एजेंडा नहीं है।
All right, joining us at the moment are the suspended members of parliament. We have with us Mr. Manikam Tagore, suspended member of parliament of the Congress. Also with us is suspended IUML MP, Mr. E.T. Mohd Basheer. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us this evening. Let me start with you first, Mr. Tagore. You must have heard what the government is saying. Just a few moments ago, several ministers saying that it's because of the indiscipline or anarchy that members of parliament have been suspended. It is about the manner of protest, not the protest itself. How would you respond?
The thing is this, as you correctly point out, 92 MPs are under suspension. This may be the first time in Indian history of Parliament that this much of a massive kind of action is taken against the elected members of the Parliament. What sin we have committed? That's my question, humble question before everybody. What sin we did? I am also one among the MPs who have been suspended. See, what we did is, we realized and the entire country realized that the security lapses was there in the incident of the last week. And the government's role is really lukewarm kind of attitude. Government is not clearly stating the reason for that and the resultant kind of action. And their failure on the part of the government is very much. We want to point out that. As elected members of the parliament, we are duty bound to raise this in the parliament. We did only that. That also is in a peaceful manner. We actually holded that placard, then sat in the this thing, and slogan was shouted. All these things. It is within the framework of that peaceful
you heard the version of the government, sir. They are saying that placards are not. They are saying placards are not allowed in the House. Let me take the question across to Manikam Tagore. Manikam Tagore, you must have heard what has been stated by the ministers. They are stating that these placards, etc., rushing into the well of the House are not acceptable forms of protest. How would you respond to them?
You are asking me, Bashir here.
Mr. Manikam Tagore, please. That question is for Mr. Tagore.
From December 4th, the Parliament is functioning, and till 13th of December, Parliament was functioning in a normal way, and every question hour, 0 over 377 bills were being passed, discussion was happened, all was okay. 13th, when the intruders parliamentary security breach happened, with the help of the BJP MPs passes, these problems started. And we were asking, the opposition parties are asking, particularly the Home Minister Amit Shah, to come to Parliament and make a statement. Nothing else we were asking. When that was not accepted, when for example on Friday, when we gave on adjournment motion also, that was not accepted, and when on that day when we are suspended, the things are going out of control. Now it is becoming clear-cut attitude of the government that they want to save Mr. Amit Shah from his failure, particularly on the parliament intruders, and therefore they are doing these diversionary tactics to divert from the real issue of the parliament security breach and the failure of Amit Shah towards another thing, that the parliament has been disturbed by the opposition parties. 92 MPs, first time in the history of parliament, has been suspended today, which has not been, never in India's parliament has gone through these things. It is going the same Gujarat assembly model. They are trying to make a Gujarat assembly model in Delhi and the new parliament. Whatever this placard, slogan shouting and others has been going on in this parliament for years together. The way of protest was simple. But the chair had the neutrality, chair will call the leaders, and there was some kind of consensus, there were some kind of statements by the government being made. But now there is no communication, there is nothing. This chair is just becoming silent, and but the government is bulldozing everything.
Mr. Tagore, if I may just come in there, those who would say that is the atmosphere conducive for talks or any kind of dialogue, because the kind of acrimony that we've been seeing over the last few days, and perhaps even over the past several sessions, one can say, but is there room for that negotiation? Are those discussions actually happening?
In democracy, you had covered you had senior journalists who had covered parliament for years together. In democracy, there is always the opposition parties are ready for a place where, like the chair, before the chair, there was always been discussions, and there was a way out, middle path being accepted. But here, the government is very clear that they don't want a statement from Mr. Amit Shah. They are very clear. Mr. Amit Shah will give a statement to a private channel in their debate outside the parliament. But he will not come to the parliament. For the past 4 days, he is missing from parliament. Where he has gone? He is in Delhi only, but he will not come to the parliament. Why he is insulting parliament?
Okay.
The question is, you call the parliament as mandir, you call parliament as parampara, whatever the words you call it.
Yeah.
But you have to come to parliament. It is people's representatives. You are all elected by people.
Right.
They are also elected by people. We are also elected by people.
Okay.
Bashir Saab is also elected by people.
Yes.
Narendra Modi ji is also elected by people. And I am also elected by people. Let them answer the questions what we are asking.
Let me put this question across to Mr. Basheer in a slightly different way. Mr. Basheer, you have the government spokespersons who are saying that this is an issue which concerns the parliament of the country, where all members of parliament, as Mr. Tagore was mentioning, are affected. So there should be a bipartisan approach on this issue rather than political point scoring, is what the government is saying. How do you respond to that question?
No, it's not a question of any kind of politicizing the thing. The entire country is concerned about this. It's a question of security breach on the parliament itself. If things goes like that, where do they end? We are having that. So what we are saying is, as correctly pointed out by my elder friend, what prevents the Prime Minister of India to come to the parliament and explain the things? Like that, why Home Minister is not coming to the parliament and explaining the things? It shows that there is something on their part to hide or conceal. So they must come and talk to the people. Now Prime Minister says that inquiry can be conducted but no debate. What is the harm in doing a debate in the parliament? Our parliament should discuss this, because the entire world is seeing the things. So let us understand, let us the parliament understand, let the ministers say what exactly is the development. They are reluctant in doing that. That's why we are saying that the government stand is totally negative in this.
Okay. You also heard Mr. Tagore, a comment coming in there from Mr. Kishan Reddy. He says it's the insecurity of the opposition MLAs that is leading them to do protests in this manner. Opposition MPs, I beg your pardon.
It's very unfortunate. Mr. Kishan Reddy is a good friend of us, and who unwillingly was sent to Telangana. He may be frustrated, but we are not frustrated. The main thing is that we are, as opposition MPs, we want the parliament to function. From December 4th to December 13th, we are only cooperating. After our defeat also, we were sitting in the parliament. We were ready to discuss about bills. We were taking up the issues. Who is frustrated? We are not frustrated. But the problem is that when 13th December, when this institution happens and through a BJP MP's passes, it is very serious thing, brother. And if it would have been any other MP from Tamil Nadu or a Muslim League MP, what they would have called it.
Right.
We know that what they would have called it.
Right. And
it is BJP MP's passes this intruders came. And
absolutely.
Home Minister must come to Parliament.
There's
and
no
answer
doubt
that
about that.
thing.
There's no doubt about that. And certainly
there are
certainly questions that MP as well as the government that they have to answer on that. But let me ask you, Mr. Basheer, before I let you all go, one simple question. Ahead of tomorrow's India Alliance meeting, and we've seen cracks appear time and again, whether it's Madhya Pradesh, whether it's Uttar Pradesh, whether it's Delhi, whether it's Punjab, whether it's Bengal or Kerala, there are differences between the alliance partners of the India Alliance. Is this one issue that you think can bring the opposition parties together ahead of that meeting? Mr. Basheer?
Yes, there is some problem with the connectivity. Would you kindly brief?
No, my question is that ahead of tomorrow's India Alliance meeting tomorrow, is this an issue that could bring opposition together? Because we've seen differences in MP, UP, in Punjab, in Delhi and several other states. So you think this is something that opposition parties could come together on?
Yeah, surely it may take place, because tomorrow that India Alliance meeting is there at 3 p.m. Naturally, this may come for discussion. It must come for the discussion because it's a matter pertaining to the security of the parliament and that kind of things. So major issues are involved with it. Naturally, we will raise it. Everybody will be having a very serious kind of discussion on that. We hope in that way.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Manikam Tagore, as well as Mr. Mohd Basheer, for joining us and sharing with us your perspective. All eyes on what really happens over the next 4 days of the winter session that are left.